Yeah, you better know what you love about me. Like,
you always look.
it's like therapy. You're just fun, man. Like, it's just fun. You know what I mean? Like, hi, I'm KAZ.
I'm Liberty, and
we're your online and offline besties.
Today, we're going to be talking about self-love and getting a little bit more raw and real with you guys.
Yeah, but before we get really deep, let's just play a game.
Okay.
It sounds like hearted, but it's also kind of a little bit like deep.
Is it emotional?
I mean, tell me what you think.
It's going to be an emotional episode, so I'm ready for it.
Okay, good. Just be prepared.
Okay.
No, so with this game, we're just going to do, it's going to be a quick one. 5 things. We're going to list 5 things that we love about each other. And then afterwards, we'll list 5 things that we love about ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah? I'm ready. I can prepare.
I love this. She's like, I'm ready. I know this.
Okay.
Yeah, you better know what you love about me. Like, you don't need time thinking about that. You best know what you love about me.
All right.
Okay, now tell me what you love about me. Like,
do I actually want to do that? Because are you going to walk out with a big head?
yeah, no, make my head big. Make my head massive.
Look at gas already.
Make my head huge.
You know what?
Literally.
I'm stuck now. No, I'm joking. Look at your face.
It's so humbling.
Yeah. Okay, so I actually wrote them down.
Okay.
So, 5 things I love about KAZ.
I'm so ready to hear this. I love stuff like this.
I can tell.
I get excited.
Cool.
Yeah.
Confidence.
Okay.
You slayed every challenge in the villa. You were like the sexiest girl there every time. Knowing your stuff, like the confidence was just everything.
Thanks.
That's number 1.
Thank you.
Number 2, energy. When you
Yeah.
walk in a room, you know how to captivate it. Look at her smile.
I love this.
She knows how
Okay.
to captivate the room with her energy. Sense of style. You
Jeez.
always look on point, and I admire how you pay attention to detail, because that is something that I never do. So I admire that in you.
Yeah.
And then, like, you always, like, smell amazing. Like,
Oh my
KAZ
God,
has the best taste in perfume ever. You wear, like, 5 at a time.
You have to layer your fragrance. I keep telling
Yeah.
people, layer your fragrances, and I promise you're literally gonna be like a walking, you just be divine.
And the villa was stinky, but you were the nice thing that smelled nice in there. You made the stinky villa smell good. And then also, your laugh and smile is contagious.
Aww.
And I actually like your poor timekeeping, because it actually makes you, and it actually makes me feel better knowing that if I'm late, you're always going to be later. So,
I'm just gonna throw that in there. Just
yeah, just that one. So
Okay.
that's my 5 things I love.
I love
about
that.
you.
I literally love stuff like this. Like, no, it genuinely gets me. Like, I think I love words of affirmation.
You know, like, in like the other week's episode when I was smiling ear to ear about making you eat horrible stuff. This
and
is
now I'm
like
like sat here like
you.
actually smiling wholesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
this
so
is your kind of, this
sweet.
is KAZ's kind of game.
Yeah, no, this is what I mean when I say to people like I'm just really soft and sensitive. I just love like I'm just like whatever. Okay, let me do yours. Okay, right. So I don't really
And
need
then
my list.
the opposite side to that, there's me that really doesn't know how to accept compliments. Like, I'm really awkward with compliments. I don't know why.
She's like, I don't know what to do. I'm like,
I'm
okay,
like,
cool.
look, I always used, when I was like this guy, I always used to give you a compliment. It was like, you literally do this when you're like, hee hee. It's really awkward. So that's the other side of this.
We should have a tally at the end of this.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so 5 things that I love about you. So the first one is that you're driven.
Yes.
No, but like you're like driven, and it's not even just driven as in like, okay, this is all I care about. I know it's like if you're throwing something you've never done before, it doesn't matter what it is. You're like, I don't care. I am putting my best foot forward, and you're gonna think I'm a professional at this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I try my hardest.
It's so like no, you exceed trying your hardest. It's no, genuinely like I don't think you give yourself enough credit.
Oh,
I
thanks,
don't.
babe.
Like you've got such good drive. Do you know what I
Thank
mean? Like
you.
it's so inspiring. It's amazing. And then the next one was depth. Like we have conversations about so much stuff. I think I probably speak to you the most when it comes down to like real life stuff. Like we've been speaking spiritual, like religion. There's not that many people that have so much like depth and knowledge. Like you know so much, and it's like you can share so much. Like I learned so much from you, and I'm just like, what? But it's because you're really knowledgeable and you go out of your way and you just learn things and you pick up on things really quickly. And it's like, you're not afraid to share that knowledge.
I have got a very logical brain.
No,
I'm
like
ditzy, but logical. It's weird.
It's insane.
I'm an oxymoron.
Like, it's actually insane. Like, you say things, I'm like, I did not know that. I'm like, where's that from? And it's like, I'm learning. Like, I just like that. I feel like I can always learn from you. Do you know what I mean? Like, I never stop learning. That's what it is. You're the type of person you can never stop learning with. Do you know what I mean?
I've never been told that before.
No, like, you've got a lot of depth. The next one, you're fun.
Yeah.
Like, you're just fun, man. Like, it's just fun. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know when people are just like, there's people who are like, yeah, they're good vibes and stuff, but you can be good vibes and boring, you know? Like,
yeah, true.
But you're like good vibes, but like really, really fun, good vibes. So like, I know, like, if I'm feeling down, if I'm feeling bored, like, I just need to call you. And, like, over the phone, why is my energy levels, like, skyrocketed? And then in person, it's literally, like, my voice is so on crack. I don't know if I can say that or not. But it's, like, you've got such, like, just such a light spirit. I love it. Do you know what I mean? Like, really fun. And then trustworthy was my next one. Because I literally trust you with my life. There's not that many. I meet people and I'm so God, I don't really trust that many people, but I trust you a lot. But I think you're just a trustworthy person. Like, I really love that.
I'm an oversharer with myself, but not other
yeah,
people.
no,
if
not
someone
other
says
people.
to me, don't tell anyone, I literally keep that secret.
Like, you're gonna literally get the electric shock to like, yeah. They'll be like, torturing, tell us where KAZ is.
That looks like constipation. That looks like me when I tried to do an acting audition.
And then for the last one, I don't know if this is just like really like basic, but I said pure. As in like clean-hearted.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think, you know people always like, that person just doesn't have a bad bone in their body. Like, if there was an explanation in the diary, have your name next to it, it'd be like, i.e. Liberty Poole. Like, I genuinely think that.
I always want the best for everyone.
Do you know what I mean?
Even people that I don't speak to anymore, like, I always want the best. I never want to see them suffer.
And I'll sit there and I'll be like, stand up, everyone sometimes. Like, literally, it's about you now. And you'll be like, oh, but it's just... But that's just you, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, there's the 5 things I love about you.
That was like a really, like, feel-good game.
I love it. I love it. Does your head feel big? And you're beautiful as well.
Thank you.
Let's put that in there. Thanks, babe.
Gassing each other up, as best friends should.
Okay, so for the next part of this little game, I want us to both say 5 things that we love about ourselves.
This is already much harder.
Your face, literally, I was about to say your face is telling a story.
I feel like it's much harder to say what you like about yourself than your friends.
Yeah.
But I'll give it a go.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Okay, I feel like I'm positive.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Which is good, so I like that.
Yeah.
And...
It's okay. You can
I
take
feel
your
like
time.
I'm fun to be around as well. So that's also good. But I do feel like I struggle with this more than...
Like trying to like list things that you love about yourself.
What about you?
I think I'm patient. Like,
I'm patient with you.
I am.
How long do you take to get ready?
Oh yeah, there you are. And I need patience.
No.
But I think
patient.
I'm really patient. I think I give people time.
Yeah.
And if I lose my patience, it's been a long time. Like, it takes a long while for me to lose my patience. So I think I always just like give people like the benefit of doubt, give them some time. I think it's because I need that as well. Like I work best with people who are able to be patient with me.
I've known that you, in situations, you give people a lot more chances than they probably need. Yeah.
Like, it's good and bad, but I see it more of a good thing than a bad thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think people not everyone's like perfect, and not everyone is like, you know.
Everyone has their own things.
And people have a story, and everyone's got a past, and you just don't know it.
Yeah.
So I always just think like I'd rather just give the benefit of the doubt. Like, obviously I know I need to have boundaries, and I understand that, but yeah. So I think I like that about myself. I like that.
Why are we hesitating?
Do you know what? I think it's also like, it's like you say it in your head, and a part of you thinks like, am I just saying that because people have told me that, or am I saying that because I believe that for myself? Do you know what I mean?
It's difficult to think about, and also I feel you don't want to sound big-headed either. Like, I feel like we've been I don't know whether society's built this into us, but like,
You have to shrink yourself sometimes, or like just
Yeah,
not come
it's
across as
weird,
being
isn't it?
vain or full of yourself.
but then that's sort of caring what people think, which we shouldn't.
Yeah, and
We
it's
shouldn't
also
care what
like
people think.
you're like stopping yourself from just being the best version of you as well when you do that, kind of. That's why I tell my mates when they do it. So why am I doing it? I don't know. I think I'm spontaneous. No, not I think. I like that I'm spontaneous and adventurous.
You are.
Like,
I like that about you as well.
I try everything new. Like I try new foods. I'll try go to new places.
And I know that if I ring you like, do you want to go here next week or do you want to go on holiday? You'd be like, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I
down.
don't know, I just feel like life is just meant to be lived. And it's just
Exactly.
like, I just want to do it. And even if it's not just like travel and stuff, like I'll try new foods. And if I don't want to, I'll try new activities. And if I love them, great. If I hate them, then whoop, why was I doing that anyway? But I'm glad I gave it a go. So I like that I don't necessarily like shy away from stuff. Even though I'm scared sometimes I might fail. I'm like, but I'll still try.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
we've said 2 things.
We've said 2.
And we're
2 things
hesitating
each.
in between.
I know.
Okay, no, right, let's go.
This is not right. Maybe we should just park it there and
Let's park it
park it
here.
there and talk about the journeys that we've been on.
Yeah, I like that.
Because I feel like self-love is a growing thing. I
Yeah.
feel like as you get older, you learn to love yourself more.
Yeah.
You learn to stop caring as much as what people think and that.
Yeah.
So maybe we should like go back, look
Okay.
at our journeys and think about what we've got from them there.
Okay. Where does your journey start when you look back?
Mine starts at school. This is going to actually be really deep for me because I don't think I've actually ever fully realised like what I'm like. I like to be a bit psychological and point out my own problems and then get myself the solutions to it.
Yeah.
And I've never actually like thought about it in this much depth. But looking back, when I was at school, I think I actually had a lot of like self-confidence issues there.
Yeah.
As in, I always used to put myself down. I think one thing I've been bad at throughout my life is putting myself down rather
Yeah.
than bigging myself up.
Yeah.
And I always used to like want a nose job when I was younger because
Yeah.
I thought my nose was like massive. And it used to be like a big insecurity of mine. As I've got older, like I don't want that anymore.
Yeah.
And I've learnt to love myself. And the way
Yeah.
I've overcome that is thinking, actually, I'm unique.
Yeah.
You know, there's only one me. Like, there's
Yeah.
only one person with this nose, and
Yeah.
I've got to like love that.
Yeah.
And like I think you have to really embrace like your individuality and who you are to
Yeah.
like overcome that. So I think for me that was how I sort of overcome some insecurities at school.
Yeah.
And then I think also for me a big curve in my life which changed me forever was actually when I was dating someone. And I think when you're like a teenager and you have like young love, you're still young and you still don't know a lot about yourself, and I feel like you can be quite easily affected.
Yeah.
And I got cheated on or found
Yeah.
out I'd been cheated when I was 18.
Yeah.
And my first thing that I did at that age was blame myself.
Yeah.
Really, I think now looking back, learning on it, you should be blaming the person that did that to you.
Yeah.
You should be holding that person accountable for their actions.
Yeah.
But instead of loving myself and saying, you know what, Lib, you deserve better, you're
Yeah.
worth more than that, I blamed me.
Yeah. Was your trail of thinking?
to the point-
What was your trail of thinking then?
I think it's just like, I asked myself why.
Okay.
And I was like, but I'm a nice person and I've got all these characteristics to offer someone. Like, why didn't they want me?
Yeah.
And I think at that time, because I backed myself personality-wise, which I sort of always have done, I started to blame my looks.
Yeah.
So I started to like convince myself in my head that I was like ugly and just that no one was ever like fancy me or people would always think that there's better out there. So for me, that was a really tough time. I sort of lost myself a little bit. I like used to go out on a night out with my friends and start randomly crying on the dance floor.
Oh, babe.
I know I become obsessed with the girl's Instagram that he cheats on me with,
Yeah.
I used to look at her every day and analyse.
Yeah.
And this is very, very honest of me saying this now.
Yeah.
But I think the reason why I'm such a girl's girl now, and I have always had girls' morals,
Yeah.
but it's because I recognised the unhealthy habit
Yeah.
that I had, which was to immediately look at the girl and start picking flaws to
Yeah.
make myself feel better because
Yeah.
I felt insecure.
Yeah.
And I think being honest that I used to do that and to try and make myself feel better in the horrible situation I was in,
Yeah.
I've learnt from that, and now I know why people are also nasty to me and want to put me down.
Yeah.
It's because of their own insecurities.
Yeah.
So that's why I've learnt, you know, past that after a young age, and that's why I'm such like empower women and support women and never blame the woman.
Yeah.
Because that was wrong of me to do that. But
Yeah.
I was in that situation where I was trying to get over sort of like the hurt and like the actual point of view from me,
Yeah.
where I was like trying to make myself feel better because really I felt ugly.
Yeah.
And I felt like I wasn't pretty. And I think that's like
This is so like
this is raw and honest.
No, it's raw and honest, but it's
Yeah.
like it hurts to hear.
I
But then
know.
it's like as much as it hurts to hear, I think it's scarier that it's relatable. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm listening. You know when someone's told you and you're like, oh, I relate to that, and it's like that's.
I feel like I've
Hurts.
heard it with my friends as well so many times that they'll be like, Lib, they'll pick up the phone and be like, Lib, what do you think of this girl? And I've seen TikTok trends on it and this and that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, we need to get to a point as society where we don't start to pick apart other
Yeah.
girls to make ourselves feel better.
Yeah.
We need to get to that point in society where we're actually empowering other females and never letting someone make you feel that bad about yourself.
Yeah.
So I did actually recognise that trait in me, and I was in a very bad mental place for about a year, but I
Yeah.
picked myself up.
Yeah.
And I feel like these days social media is such like a comparison trap where you're
Yeah.
constantly looking at filtered photos of people and people's best photos that they put forward on Instagram.
Yeah.
And it's like you're constantly, the first thing we get taught to do by society is to compare and like reach these certain like beauty standards.
Yeah.
So the way that I deal with my self-love and
Yeah.
the way that I lead with me is
Yeah.
I literally think, okay, yeah, looks, you can compliment someone, you can say all this, but they're really not the fundamental of living.
Yeah.
And they're really not your core. And I will never date a guy that leads with his looks forward. And
Yeah.
I don't like to have friends that just care so much about their image.
Yeah.
Because from what I've been through, that's not what I'm about.
Yeah.
And the way I got over that toxic thought of thinking I'm not pretty enough is actually I just lead with my personality now.
Yeah.
And that's always my foot that I put forward first over
Yeah.
everything, because it is at the core who I am.
Yeah.
Like your looks are just like a shell.
Yeah.
And beauty standards are false. They're
Yeah.
not real. I feel like 10 years ago, it was like, you know, not 10 years ago. back in the older
look,
times,
work
it
it back.
was desirable to like obviously be bigger because it was a sign of wealth. And I just
Yeah.
think they're changing all the time. And it's what's fashionable at the time. And really, it's unobtainable. They're not real.
Yeah.
So just always lead with your personality and put your like, put that as your like forward foot, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. And that's how I got through that. And I
Yeah.
love my personality, and I'm so much more confident now
I like that.
that I lead with that over
Yeah.
anything.
I really love that.
But that's my story.
That was so
I'm
honest.
self-love.
Like I'm literally like, my heart's like, oh my god.
Yeah, I think looking back, that you're that like well boy that you just knocked your phone and broke your phone.
I'm just like, I don't know how I did that, but yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's where I am today, and I'm still happy and I'm still learning. I'm not saying I'm the perfect person.
Yeah.
I still can put myself down at times, and I think it's normal for girls to do that and or anyone to do that. But I think that is definitely why I'm in a better position now than I
Yeah.
was. And also just to link it to the villa.
Oh yeah.
Coming out of that, I was so low self-esteem where I didn't really believe in myself.
Yeah.
But the day I chose to walk out was the day I actually stood up for myself, and
Yeah.
also in that way said, I'm not putting up with this.
Yeah.
I've put up with this before where the energy was off and it
Yeah.
wasn't making me happy. and I'm going to put myself first and remove myself to make me happy.
Yeah.
And that was a sign, like I owed that to myself because I'd never done that before.
Yeah.
And I think people watch that journey, but them emotions at the end was real and it was raw.
Yeah.
And that was me for the first time ever actually saying, you know what, I'm not going to
deal with this.
And it's not even saying Jake's a bad person because he's not.
Yeah.
But it's just there was stuff going on which I just felt like our energies was off towards the end.
Yeah.
So I did it for me, not despite him.
Yeah.
I just did it for me, and I feel like I discovered self-love in the villa.
Yeah.
As well. So I feel like that was a journey that I also went through.
I like that.
And now we're happy as anything.
Yeah.
Independent woman vibes, not dating anyone. Don't date anyone that disturbs my peace. I put myself first.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's my self-love story.
Oh, you're so wholesome.
Oh, thanks.
No, it is. I don't know, like my journey of self-love, I think it changes and it's different. I think I'm such a bubbly person just in general. Like I've always been like that. I've always been really bubbly. But I think a lot of people don't really, I don't know, I think some people pick up on it, but most people don't. But I'm actually just very, very, very guarded. Like my guard is like, it's like oh God, I don't want to get emotional and stuff. I think it took me a long time to be able to like be open with people fully, because I think where I've always been bubbly, I've always been extrovert just growing up and stuff. I think I'm the oldest of like 4 kids. Like I was a handful. I don't know how my parents dealt with me, to be honest. Like if I have like a daughter like me, that's like karma. Like that's just shut up, like sit. So I've always just been like quite just bubbly, jumpy, speak to everyone, really friendly, don't really care. But I think I've always gotten on with people on a very surface level, like in general. That's why when I'm like, oh, I get on with everyone, it's because that's just the surface level of me I show to everyone. But I think once I let my guard down with people and I really let them in, those are the points where I'm like, okay, like I'm really showing you like the real me. And
But
I think it took a
your
while.
guard up as like a self-love act because you want to protect yourself and you don't want yourself to get hurt.
Yeah, like I don't like exposing me to people because I feel like it gives them power over me, which I don't like. Do you know what I mean? I think I give a lot, and because I give a lot, I think it's been taken advantage of in a lot of different ways, like just in general. Like I think with relationships and just, I agree with you, like getting into relationships from such a young age. Like I've been in relationships from when I was like 15 up until I was 24. Like that's like, I was just single for a bit. Like when I say single for a bit, I mean like single for like 6 months. Like why was I spending like all my teenage years and like the earliest half of my 20s purely in relationships? And I think in those situations, I never put myself first, like ever. It was all, what do you want me to do? I will do this for you because then you'll love me more, then you'll appreciate me and you'll think that I'm good enough. And I then, I feel like I'm just being myself. And it's like, yes, I was being myself, but then I wasn't loving myself. I was loving everyone else more than me because I wanted them to accept me. Because I don't know, in my head, I just always thought
Why did you think that they would accept you?
I think I was just scared. I think it's just like things people have said like in like school and stuff, because I'm so big on words, and I think that's where I'm like, oh, like this words of affirmation thing. Like as I've gotten older, I'm like, oh yeah, that's actually me. Like I'm like a sponge. So everything that's said to me, I really absorb it and I take it for like verbatim. Is that even a word? Like I take it like that must mean this. So if someone was to say to me like growing up, like, I don't know, it's a weird one. Like I've always loved myself, but then I've always been told things that make me question myself and make me think, oh, okay, maybe you shouldn't actually love yourself.
That comes from people's insecurities.
And I think it comes from, and it also is me absorbing that, but not recognizing I was absorbing it. Like, I'm trying to think of examples to make it like easier. Like, I think in one of my relationships, this is really like mad to like even think back. Okay. I think in one of my relationships, like previously, my ex-boyfriend would always like, he would it was just constantly cheating. And I was just like, and then he'd cry and be like, I'm sorry, and I'd forgive it, and I'd accept it. And I accepted it, 1, because yes, I did love him, but 2, because I don't think, a part of me just didn't think I deserved more than that. So I was just kind of like, yeah, I think it's just, if you just, the person saying they're going to change, like give them a chance. But it's like, every time you say yes to everyone else, you say no to yourself. And I never understood that. So I'd always do myself a disservice, just like
and I
staying
feel like
put.
the more you like put up with, you just start losing like self-respect, and then
100%.
like you'll just put up with anything, and then you lose
100%.
yourself in the situation.
Because you lose self-respect, and then you build low self-esteem, and then you question yourself and you compare yourself to other people. And it's so weird how like relationship situations can translate into just everything else, because then when it comes to like work, or it comes to like school, you like take those parts of you and you just think, I would like do something, like it's just not good enough, so I'm not just not sharing it. And it's so hard because I'm such a perfectionist as well, and I think I need to learn, and I'm still learning how to like let it go. Like I'll be on socials and everyone's like, why aren't you posting? Like, you're ghost. Like, even like right now, and I really think about it, I'm like, I haven't posted in like 2 months. And it's not because I'm like, oh, I just don't care. It's like, I'm just like, sometimes I just like to just, when I'm enjoying myself and doing me, I'm like, I'd rather keep this for myself, because I'm just so scared that too many people's opinions will just ruin that for me and put me in a bad space.
But in a way, that's a form of self-love and self-care, because you're putting your needs first over other people's needs.
Yeah, but then it's learning a balance, because otherwise I just end up isolating.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not isolating with like my friends at home. I'm still meeting up with my mates at home, but I'm not really being myself fully when I can be. And I think also like even stuff like going on like a show, I think I walked into that villa at probably one of my most confident points, because I think I'll be like really confident, yeah? It's like confidence, and then something will happen and I'll be like, knock me, and I'll be like, nope, I'm not doing that. And I'm like, come back up, and then I'm like going again, and something happened and I'll dip for a bit and I'm back up. But every time I dip, I'm very open and I'm very vulnerable. I don't mind speaking to people about it, but I like to just speak when I feel comfortable enough to. And I think sometimes when I share stuff, it comes off really raw, but in my head, I'm like, I've probably processed this over the last couple of months, so that it doesn't feel as fresh. It's just that, oh, I'm just saying it out loud, you know? So I think it's just with self-love over, like, I'm 28 now, and I think over the years, I think the main things that I've learned is, as long as I know that I'm really trying my best to respect myself, what I want, and so I'm not, you know, compromising my own boundaries, I'm able to really love myself in that way, and then everything else after that kind of just falls in line. So I think when people say certain things to me, it just doesn't hit the same, because I know myself, or I understand what projection is, and I understand, and it's very different. I know.
And you've actually taught me that when I was unaware, because I always like to see the best in people. When I was unaware and I was like, I wonder why that person said that, or that person said that. You've been very helpful to me in terms of like, you said, oh, that's just out of pocket. Like they obviously feel jealous about something and it's just jumped out of them. So just note it and be careful.
Yeah.
Or I remember when I was coming out and there was like these rumours going around my local area, and I was like, KAZ, this isn't true. I don't know why this is happening. And there's still rumours that go about me to this day that aren't true. Yeah. And you was like, Lib, it's background noise. And I'll always remember that, and it really helped me because it was so right. Like, it's literally just background noise, and you've just got to focus on what is good for you, which is another form of self-love.
100%. So it's just, I think it's just one of those things. And then I remember one time, like one of my exes, I've dated some great people, but some not so great people, but also some people were just not in a good place when I dated them, and neither was I guess. But like, there was one of my exes, and he called me a liability. He would like cheat on me all the time, and when I'd confront it, he'd be like,
that's just gaslighting though, because it's like clearly you're the liability.
I'd be upset about something, but I'd be a liability. If I
abuse.
bring it up and we have an argument, I'm a liability. So then a part of me started thinking like, maybe I just shouldn't stand up for myself. And I think from that situation, I had to sit down.
Yeah. You were the liability to him because you were calling him out on his actions.
And for a while I thought like, oh my gosh, am I a liability? Like, am I, if things start to go wrong with any friendships or anyone, I'd be like, maybe I'm the problem, like maybe it's actually me. And then I'd question myself. And then I think it took me only a couple of months to really sit down and just be like, actually, you know what? No, like I'm actually not a liability. And I think now, when it comes down, if it's one thing I'm gonna do is stand up for myself. Like I just have stopped letting people walk all over me. I think it happens in situations where I'm like none the wiser, or I haven't connected the dots. Sometimes it happens, like in relationships, people just using you just don't know, and I don't recognize it. And I'm like, I wish I would see things much sooner. However, like if people are directly coming at me, like I'm going to stand up for myself. Like I don't go out of my way to cause arguments or fight with people. However, if you're coming in, I'm just like, I'm going to stand my ground because there's no way. I just don't let people walk all over me in that way anymore. And I think for me, those are the ways that I've learned to just love myself, is to stand up for myself and protect myself. But I think it's just finding that balance in being able to do it and just still live freely. Because I think sometimes I'm like a little bird, I'll cage myself and I'm like, this feels safe. And everyone's like, come on, I'm like, no. I'm like, no. So it's just learning that.
Yeah, I think the important thing to remember as well is like with the whole, you might love people in relationships or love people in friendships, but self-love has to come first because it's your life.
Yeah.
And last year I had to, even with friendships, I had to leave a lot of people that I absolutely loved to pieces and thought that they'd always be there, because they just was not making me feel good.
Yeah.
And I just felt a whole load of negativity. And that's one thing I'll say about me is if there's a situation that's making me feel negative, like I will love you, but I will love myself more and leave that situation.
Yeah.
And I think that's key for people to remember when it comes to self-love.
You have to, because everyone always says, like, you can't pour out of an empty cup.
Exactly.
Like, if you're depleted, then what else are you giving? Everyone else is just making you dry now.
I know, exactly.
And then you have nothing to give. And who wants that? No one.
I feel like we really opened
It's like
up
therapy.
I feel like I'm in a therapy session, literally. But anyway, I feel like we've shared our stories and I hope that's giving you some, points or maybe some things to think about. And I know that you've given us some dilemmas as well. So we're just going to answer a few of them and also give you some tips on self-love and things you can do in the future, or if that's something you're struggling with, tips that may help.
Yeah.
So we touched quite a lot about self-love and we answered a lot of your dilemmas actually already within that. But there's one that we could probably touch on more, which is how would you help a friend that is going through, like, struggling with self-love?
Struggling with self-love. I think that's really hard. I think watching my friends struggle hurts a lot. So I think I'd listen first.
I agree. I really feel like it's just a process.
Yeah.
And as long as you're there for them as a friend, I've got friends that struggle with confidence or self-love, or they'll put up with a lot of stuff that I don't agree with, but I'm never going to make them feel bad for it.
Yeah.
And I just literally, I know that it's a process and I hope that they get to the other side.
Yeah.
But all I do is offer my advice as a friend, but it's their life. So if they want to take it or leave it, that's up to them.
Yeah.
But all you can do is just be there as a friend and an ear and a guide, and if they want to take it then they can, but it really is a process, so just be patient.
I agree with that. It's not straightforward.
And then finally we asked for your self-love tips and you guys sent in loads of cute ones, so we're just going to share them now. So this is coming from you guys and obviously this helps other people that are watching this. And here's some tips for you. Do you want to go first or shall I?
Yeah, I'm literally sorry. I was so engrossed. I'm reading all your responses, Hans. And it's just, setting boundaries. I've gained so much confidence in self-love by protecting my peace.
That's
we spoke
a good
about
one.
that.
Yeah. I love this one.
Go on.
The longest relationship you'll ever have is the one you have with yourself. Build it.
Oh, no,
I
really love that.
That's going to be my screensaver.
And this one as well, like, I'm not the best, I'm not the worst, I'm just me, and that's exceptional. I remind myself. I like that.
I love
it's like
that.
It's basically accepting the best and worst parts of yourself and just understanding that you're still that person.
And you shouldn't compare yourself to other girls. Like, you're your own competition. You should only want to better yourself.
Yeah.
100%.
I like this one that says, learning how to be alone and enjoy your own company. It allows time to reflect and reset. And I just think that one's just, like you said, it's a journey. It's not straightforward. It's linear.
Shakespeare once said... What did Shakespeare once say? No, listen.
Shakespeare quote.
Shakespeare once said, the course of true love never did run smoothly. So that's true love with yourself.
Yeah, it's not. So it could either be like this, but it's not. It's like, woo.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it's...
Shakespeare said. Shakespeare said.
I think we're going to leave it here, guys.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
We've spoken to you, but we've shared some self-love tips. We've had some inspirational Shakespeare quotes. And we just hope you guys have enjoyed us just being a little bit more raw and open and honest with you. And we're really happy and grateful that you're still interacting with us, especially through our Instagram, because then we get to hear you guys' opinions. And I think the tips they sent in they were really wholesome.
Please join us for next series. It's going to be a good one.
You're not going to want to miss it.
So this series has been a theme of love. We've spoke about friendships, relationships, self-love, and what was the last one?
Shakespeare.
And Shakespeare, yep. So please join us for next series where we'll be talking about empowerment, careers,
body image, body positivity, and we're going to have a Mother's Day special where we have both our mothers with us, and I think that is going to be insane. That episode is going. Like, are we going to get told off, or are we going to just get bossed up as well?
A bit of it. My mum's a boy orphan, but she's feisty.
My mum's so sweet.
Could
she
be
just
some
be
drama
shady
in the
sometimes.
house. Yeah, definitely. You know what mums are like. So yeah.
But yeah, and also thank you so much for interacting with us, especially on our Instagram, KAZ and Liberty, guys. Keep interacting with us over there because we get all the tips, we get advice from you guys, dilemmas, and we'll also be communicating with you. That's the easiest way for us to speak to you.
And there's plenty more fun to come.
Exactly.
Different theme for every series. So yeah, thanks guys.
See you later.
Bye.